trust is a powerful bond, an unseen energy that connects hearts, minds, and spirits. But in a world where intentions aren't always pure, it's essential to be mindful of who you trust. Let's begin by remembering this trust begins with you. Trust is one of the most precious gifts you can offer, but it's often misplaced when you fail to trust the most important person in your life, yourself. Trusting yourself means believing in your intuition, in your ability to make the right choices, and in your capacity to navigate life's challenges. It is an act of self-love and respect. When you trust yourself, you empower yourself to live authentically without relying on others for validation or direction. At the heart of self-trust lies your inner voice, often referred to as intuition. This intuitive wisdom is not loud or overwhelming. It's gentle, a quiet nudge from within that guides you toward what feels right for you. It's a deep sense of knowing, often arising without a logical explanation. Many times we dismiss this voice in favor of external advice or societal expectations. We look outward for answers, doubting our own instincts, which can lead us down paths that don't align with our true nature. But when you start to honor and trust this inner guidance, you'll find that life becomes less about struggle and more about flow. You'll feel more in tune with yourself and the decisions you make, knowing that you're acting from a place of truth. One of the most powerful reasons to trust yourself is that you are the only person who truly knows what is best for you. Others may offer advice or guidance, often with good intentions, but they cannot fully understand your inner world, your experiences, or your desires. No one else can feel what you feel or know the depth of your dreams and challenges. This is why it is so crucial to trust your own judgment. When you look to others for approval or permission, you hand over your power. But when you listen to yourself, you reclaim that power and stand strong in your decisions, knowing they come from a place of personal wisdom and experience. Trusting yourself also involves having faith in your ability to make mistakes and still be okay. No one is perfect, and no decision comes with a guarantee of success. However, every choice, whether it leads to success or failure, is an opportunity for growth. When you trust yourself, you understand that you can handle whatever comes your way. Even if things don't go as planned, you trust that you will learn, adapt, and keep moving forward. This resilience builds confidence, reinforcing the belief that you are capable of navigating life's ups and downs. It's easy to get caught up in the opinions of others, especially in today's world where so much of our lives are on display. We are constantly bombarded with messages about how we should live, what we should strive for, and what success looks like. This can make it difficult to hear your own voice amid the noise. But trusting yourself means stepping back from the external pressures and tuning into your own needs and desires. It's about understanding that your path is unique to you, and it doesn't have to look like anyone else's. Self-trust also fosters deeper, more authentic relationships with others. When you trust yourself, you don't rely on others to validate your worth or tell you what to do. This allows you to engage in relationships from a place of wholeness rather than neediness. You no longer seek approval or permission from others, which creates healthier dynamics. People are naturally drawn to those who are confident in themselves, and your self-assuredness will inspire others to trust and respect you as well. Building self-trust takes time and practice. It requires you to listen to yourself, even when it's difficult or uncomfortable. It means making decisions that honor your truth, even if they go against what others expect. It's about being kind to yourself when things don't go as planned and having the courage to keep moving forward with faith in your own abilities. Trusting yourself is not just a one-time decision, but a continuous practice of self-awareness, self-compassion, and self-empowerment. When you trust yourself, you live with greater freedom and authenticity. You no longer look outside for direction or approval. Instead, you move through life with confidence, knowing that you are guided by your own inner wisdom. Trust yourself first, and everything else will fall into place. In every interaction, there is an exchange of energy. Whether you're aware of it or not, you are constantly picking up on the energy of the people and environments around you. This energy isn't something you can see or touch, but you can feel it. It's present in the way someone speaks, the tone of their voice, their body language, and even in the spaces they occupy. When it comes to trust, one of the most reliable indicators is the energy that people bring into your life. Energy never lies. It is an authentic reflection of someone's true intentions, no matter what they say or how they present themselves on the surface. Think about the times when you've met someone new, and without any apparent reason, you felt a connection, a sense of ease and comfort. Or perhaps you've encountered someone who, although they appeared friendly, made you feel uneasy or tense. This is the power of energy at work. It transcends words and actions, revealing the true nature of people before they even say a word. When you trust in your ability to sense this energy, you're better equipped to protect yourself from those whose intentions may not align with your well-being. We all carry a unique energy that reflects our emotions, thoughts, and attitudes. Positive energy feels light, warm, and open, while negative energy can feel heavy, tense, or draining. Often people with negative intentions or unresolved issues within themselves carry an energy that feels off. You may not be able to explain why, but you can feel it. This is your intuition picking up on something deeper than what's visible. It's easy to overlook this feeling, especially if someone's words or actions seem pleasant on the surface. But ignoring the energy they carry can lead to situations where you feel drained, uncomfortable, or even betrayed. Energy is more powerful than appearances. While people can mask their intentions with charm, kindness, or charisma, they cannot hide their energy. Over time, the energy that someone carries will reveal their true nature. Someone who is genuine, kind, and trustworthy will emit an energy that feels calming and supportive. On the other hand, those who have hidden agendas, unresolved anger, or jealousy will emit an energy that feels disruptive, chaotic, or draining. When you learn to trust the energy you sense, you are giving yourself an invaluable tool for discernment in relationships and interactions. One of the most telling aspects of energy is how it affects you physically and emotionally. Have you ever been in a room with someone who, without even saying much, left you feeling exhausted or uneasy? Or perhaps you've been around someone whose presence seemed to lift your spirits and fill you with joy. These reactions are not coincidences. Your body and emotions are finely tuned instruments for detecting energy. When you feel drained or tense around certain people, it's a sign that their energy may not be in alignment with yours, and it's worth paying attention to those feelings. It's important to remember that everyone has their own energetic signature, and it's not necessarily about labeling people as good or bad. Instead, it's about understanding how their energy affects you and whether it supports or detracts from your sense of peace and well-being. Some people carry energy that is heavy because they are going through difficult times, while others may be unconsciously projecting their unresolved issues onto those around them. The key is to become aware of how their energy makes you feel and to trust that feeling. Energy also communicates far more than words ever could. Someone might apologize with words, but their energy could still carry anger or resentment. They may say they want the best for you, but their energy may reveal envy or competition. By tuning into the energy beneath the surface, you can gain insight into people's true feelings and intentions. This awareness allows you to protect your own energy and make choices about who you allow into your life. It's essential to cultivate the ability to read energy not just in others, but in yourself as well. When you're aware of your own energy, you can better manage how you interact with the world. Are you bringing positivity and openness to your relationships, or are you carrying unresolved issues that affect those around you? The more conscious you are of your own energy, the more you can align it with the kind of relationships and interactions you desire. In the end, trusting the energy around you is about honoring your intuition and recognizing that it is a vital guide. Energy is a direct reflection of someone's true self. While people can disguise their words and actions, they cannot mask the energy they carry. Learning to trust what you feel, rather than what you see or hear, will lead you to more authentic connections and help you navigate life with greater ease and clarity. Energy never lies, and it always guides you toward the truth if you're willing to listen. Boundaries are an essential part of living a healthy, balanced life, yet many people struggle with setting them. Often there's a misconception that boundaries push people away or create distance in relationships. In reality, boundaries are empowering. They are the invisible lines that define what is acceptable for you and what is not, helping you protect your emotional, physical, and mental well-being. Far from being restrictive, boundaries foster healthy relationships and encourage mutual respect. At its core, setting boundaries is an act of self-respect. It's recognizing your own needs, desires, and limits and valuing them enough to communicate them clearly to others. When you establish boundaries, you're saying, this is who I am, and this is what I need to thrive. In doing so, you honor your sense of self-worth and prevent others from encroaching on your time, energy, or emotional space in ways that don't serve you. Boundaries give you control over your life. Without them, you might find yourself overwhelmed, stretched too thin, or even resentful because you're constantly prioritizing other people's needs over your own. By setting limits, you reclaim control over how you spend your time, who you spend it with, and what behaviors you're willing to tolerate. This is incredibly empowering because it shifts the balance of power back into your hands. Rather than feeling at the mercy of others' demands or expectations, you take charge of your own well-being. In relationships, boundaries are the foundation of mutual respect. When you communicate your limits, you give others the opportunity to understand what you need to feel safe and respected. It also creates clarity, reducing misunderstandings and resentment. If you don't set clear boundaries, others may unintentionally overstep, not because they mean harm, but because they don't know where your limits are. By being open about your boundaries, you foster relationships that are built on transparency and respect. It's important to understand that setting boundaries is not about building walls or keeping people out. It's about defining what behaviors, actions, or words are acceptable in your life. This can be as simple as saying no when you don't have the capacity to take on another responsibility, or as profound as ending relationships that are toxic or harmful. Boundaries are not about controlling others, but about protecting yourself. They empower you to make choices that align with your values and well-being, allowing you to engage with others from a place of strength and authenticity. One of the challenges many people face when setting boundaries is the fear of rejection or conflict. You may worry that if you set boundaries, others will see you as selfish, difficult, or unkind. But the truth is, people who respect you will appreciate your honesty and value your self-respect. Boundaries are a way of teaching others how to treat you, and those who genuinely care about you will want to honor those boundaries. On the other hand, those who react negatively to your boundaries may be revealing their own lack of respect for your needs, and this can be a helpful signal in reevaluating those relationships. When you set boundaries, you also create space for self-care. You free up time and energy that would otherwise be consumed by obligations that don't serve you. This space allows you to focus on what truly matters to you, whether that's spending time with loved ones, pursuing your passions, or simply taking time to rest and recharge. Boundaries help you prioritize yourself, which is not selfish but essential for maintaining your overall well-being. Healthy boundaries also allow you to give more authentically. When you respect your own limits, you prevent burnout and resentment. Instead of giving from a place of obligation or depletion, you can give from a place of abundance. You are more present, more engaged, and more joyful in your interactions when you know that your own needs are being honored. This leads to deeper, more fulfilling relationships because you're able to show up as your best self. Another empowering aspect of boundaries is that they teach others how to treat you. When you consistently enforce your limits, you communicate to the world that you value yourself and expect others to do the same. This sets a powerful example and can inspire others to respect their own boundaries as well. Over time, you may find that the people in your life naturally begin to treat you with more respect and consideration because they understand that you won't tolerate anything less. Setting boundaries is a practice, and like any skill, it becomes easier with time. The more you set and enforce your boundaries, the more confident and empowered you will feel. You'll notice that as you honor your own needs, you also begin to attract people and opportunities that align with your values. Boundaries don't isolate you, they actually create deeper connections because they allow you to show up as your authentic self. In the end, boundaries are not limitations but liberations. They free you from the burden of overcommitment, from relationships that drain your energy, and from situations that compromise your well-being. They empower you to live a life that is aligned with your truth, where your needs are respected and your self-worth is honored. Patterns are everywhere in life, and they hold tremendous power when it comes to understanding people's situations and even ourselves. Often we focus on isolated incidents, giving them too much weight without recognizing that it's the patterns over time that reveal the truth. People can say one thing and do another, but their consistent actions form a pattern that tells us everything we need to know about their character, intentions, and reliability. Paying attention to patterns is one of the most effective ways to navigate relationships, protect our well-being, and make informed decisions. When it comes to relationships, patterns of behavior are much more revealing than words or promises. People may occasionally make mistakes, act out of character, or have a bad day. What matters, however, is what they do consistently over time. Someone might apologize for a misstep or say they will change, but if the same behavior repeats itself, that's a pattern. And patterns rarely lie. They show us who people really are, no matter how they try to present themselves. If you observe that someone consistently fails to meet their commitments, is unreliable, or disrespects your boundaries, these are clear indicators of their true nature. On the other hand, consistent acts of kindness, support, and respect show someone's genuine intentions and integrity. One of the reasons we often overlook patterns is because we want to believe in people's potential rather than their reality. We may focus on the good moments or the promises they make, hoping that these will define the relationship. But when we ignore negative patterns, we put ourselves at risk for disappointment and hurt. It's important to pay attention to what people do repeatedly, as this is what ultimately defines the quality of our relationships. Over time, a person's patterns of behavior reveal more than their words ever could. In addition to understanding others, recognizing patterns helps us reflect on our own actions and behaviors. Many of us have patterns in the way we approach relationships, handle challenges, or make decisions. Some of these patterns may serve us well, while others may hold us back. By becoming aware of our own patterns, we can make conscious changes that lead to personal growth and healthier relationships. For example, if you notice a pattern of always putting others' needs before your own, you may realize it's time to set boundaries and prioritize self-care. Awareness of these patterns allows us to break free from cycles that no longer serve us. Patterns are also powerful indicators in other areas of life, such as work, health, and personal development. For example, if you're trying to make progress in your career or personal goal, it's not the occasional effort that counts, but the pattern of consistent action. If you consistently show up, put in the work, and stay committed, you're far more likely to succeed than if you rely on bursts of effort followed by long periods of inactivity. Recognizing and reinforcing positive patterns can lead to lasting success in any area of life. In contrast, destructive patterns in our lives need to be addressed if we want to experience growth and healing. If you consistently find yourself in toxic relationships, feeling stuck in your career, or neglecting your health, it's important to step back and recognize these patterns for what they are. Once you identify a negative pattern, you have the power to change it. This is where the true power of patterns lies, not just in recognizing them, but in using that awareness to make better choices going forward. Patterns also teach us about cycles in life. Just as nature follows patterns, seasons change, tides rise and fall, our lives move in cycles. There are times of growth, times of rest, and times of challenge. By becoming aware of these natural patterns, we can navigate life with more ease and acceptance. We understand that challenges aren't permanent, that growth takes time, and that there is a natural flow to life's events. Recognizing these larger patterns helps us develop patience, resilience, and a deeper understanding of our journey. Ultimately, the power of patterns is about awareness and discernment. When we pay attention to patterns, we stop being swayed by temporary circumstances or fleeting emotions. Instead, we develop a clear picture of reality, which allows us to make decisions from a place of wisdom rather than reaction. Patterns reveal truth and is the foundation of making informed choices. In relationships, recognizing patterns helps us see people for who they really are, not who we hope they will be. In our own lives, it empowers us to break free from negative cycles and reinforce positive ones. And in the broader context of life, patterns give us the wisdom to understand the natural ebb and flow of our experiences. By paying attention to the power of patterns, we become more in tune with the truth of our lives, leading to healthier relationships, personal growth, and a deeper sense of peace. Life is full of choices, and among the most important is the decision to choose love over fear. Every day we encounter situations that challenge us, trigger our insecurities, and make us question our worth or path. In those moments, we have two choices. We can choose fear, which keeps us small, stuck, and afraid to take risks, or we can choose love, which opens us up to possibilities, growth, and healing. Though fear can seem protective, it often limits us, while love invites expansion and trust in ourselves and the universe. Fear is a natural emotion. It arises from our instincts to keep us safe, and in some situations, fear can be a helpful guide. But too often, fear becomes a barrier, keeping us from living fully. It tells us to stay in our comfort zones, to avoid risk, and to cling to what's familiar, even if that means staying in situations that no longer serve us. Fear thrives on doubt, uncertainty, and the need for control. It makes us believe that we're not enough, that failure is inevitable, and that we should play it safe rather than reach for something more. But when we choose fear over love, we close ourselves off from the potential for growth, connection, and joy. Love, on the other hand, is expansive. When we choose love, we trust in ourselves, in others, and in the unfolding of life. Love invites us to be vulnerable, to take risks, and to believe in possibilities beyond what we can see in the present moment. Choosing love means trusting that no matter what happens, we are enough, and that we are capable of handling whatever comes our way. It means acting from a place of compassion and understanding rather than fear and defensiveness. Love opens doors that fear tries to close. One of the key ways fear manifests in our lives is through limiting beliefs. These are the thoughts and stories we tell ourselves that hold us back. We may believe we're not worthy of love, that we're not capable of success, or that the world is too dangerous to trust. Fear reinforces these beliefs, keeping us stuck in a loop of self-doubt and insecurity. But when we choose love, we begin to dismantle these limiting beliefs. We realize that we are worthy of love and happiness, that we are capable of achieving our dreams, and that the world, while uncertain, is full of opportunities if we're open to them. Choosing love over fear also transforms our relationships. When we act from fear, we may become defensive, suspicious, or controlling. We may build walls to protect ourselves from being hurt, but these walls also prevent us from experiencing deep connection. Love, however, invites openness and vulnerability. It allows us to trust others, to communicate honestly, and to build relationships based on mutual respect and care. When we choose love, we create space for deeper, more meaningful connections with the people in our lives. In times of uncertainty, it's easy to default to fear. When we face challenges, whether in our personal lives, our careers, or the world at large, fear often tells us to play it safe, to avoid risk, and to protect ourselves. But love encourages us to lean into the discomfort, to trust that we are capable of navigating difficult times, and to remain open to possibilities even when the path ahead is unclear. Love doesn't mean ignoring the challenges or pretending that everything is perfect. It means facing challenges with courage and a belief that no matter the outcome, we will grow and learn from the experience. Fear often creates separation from ourselves, from others, and from life itself. It convinces us that we are alone in our struggles, that we must fend for ourselves, and that others are a threat. Love, however, reminds us of our connection to everything around us. It shows us that we are all part of something larger, that we are supported by others, and that there is always a path forward, even if we can't see it right away. Love helps us to see the good in others, to trust in the process of life, and to embrace the journey no matter how uncertain it may feel. Ultimately, choosing love over fear is an ongoing practice. It's not something that happens once, but something we commit to every day. There will always be moments when fear tries to take over, whispering doubts and worries into our minds. But each time we choose love, we strengthen our ability to live from a place of openness, courage, and trust. Love empowers us to move forward, even when the way isn't clear, and to embrace the beauty and possibility in each moment. By choosing love, we not only transform our own lives, but we also create a ripple effect that touches everyone around us. When we act from love, we inspire others to do the same. We create a world where kindness, compassion, and connection take precedence over fear and division. Choosing love is a powerful choice, one that leads to greater freedom, joy, and peace for ourselves and for the world. Healing begins with awareness. Without awareness, it's nearly impossible to address the root causes of pain, whether it's emotional, physical, or mental. Often we move through life on autopilot, reacting to situations, feeling hurt, or carrying stress, without truly understanding where these feelings come from or why they persist. We may push the discomfort aside, hoping it will fade on its own, but healing doesn't happen in avoidance. It starts when we bring our attention to the pain and recognize what needs to be healed. Awareness is the first step in transformation. When we talk about awareness, it's not just about noticing that we're in pain or that something is wrong. It's about cultivating a deeper understanding of the patterns, thoughts, and beliefs that have contributed to our suffering. It's about recognizing how we respond to life's challenges and whether those responses are serving us or keeping us stuck. Awareness allows us to identify the areas where we may be holding on to resentment, fear, guilt, or shame, emotions that can block our ability to heal. Once we become aware of these blocks, we can begin the process of letting them go. Often pain or discomfort is a signal from our bodies or minds trying to get our attention. It's easy to overlook these signals, especially in a world that encourages us to stay busy, productive, and distracted. We might dismiss our emotions, numb them with external distractions, or rationalize them away, thinking they'll pass on their own. But when we stop and bring our awareness to these signals, we begin to see them for what they truly are: invitations to explore deeper layers of ourselves. Rather than something to be feared or ignored, our pain becomes a doorway to greater understanding and healing. Awareness allows us to become conscious of the stories we tell ourselves. These stories often shape how we see ourselves in the world. For example, we may carry beliefs that we're not worthy of love, that we're not good enough, or that we'll always struggle in certain areas of life. These beliefs can be so deeply ingrained that we don't even realize they're influencing our thoughts, behaviors, and decisions. When we cultivate awareness, we start to question these beliefs. We begin to see them for what they are: stories, not truths, and that opens up the possibility for change. Healing also requires awareness of how we relate to others. Many of our wounds come from relationships, whether it's from childhood, romantic partnerships, or friendships. Sometimes we repeat patterns in relationships without understanding why. Maybe we attract the same kinds of people, or we find ourselves in similar conflicts over and over again. Through awareness, we can identify these patterns and understand the role we play in them. This understanding allows us to break the cycle and create healthier, more fulfilling connections. Another critical aspect of healing through awareness is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, without judgment. When we're mindful, we can observe our thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. We can notice our reactions and choose how to respond rather than operating on autopilot. This mindful awareness creates space for healing because it allows us to engage with our pain in a compassionate and non-reactive way. Instead of pushing it away, we can sit with it, acknowledge it, and begin to release it. Awareness also means acknowledging the connection between our mind, body, and spirit. Often, emotional or mental pain manifests physically, and physical pain can take a toll on our emotional well-being. Healing isn't just about addressing one aspect of ourselves, it's about bringing awareness to the whole picture. For example, if we're experiencing chronic stress or anxiety, it's important to notice how that stress impacts our physical health and vice versa. By becoming aware of these connections, we can take a more holistic approach to healing. Through awareness, we learn to become more compassionate with ourselves. Healing isn't a linear process, and it's easy to get frustrated or discouraged along the way. But awareness allows us to accept where we are without judgment. We start to recognize that healing is a journey, not a destination, and that each step we take, no matter how small, is a step toward wholeness. This compassion softens the edges of our pain, making it easier to move through it and emerge stronger on the other side. Ultimately, healing comes from the willingness to look within. It comes from the courage to face our wounds, our fears, and our vulnerabilities with an open heart. Awareness is what makes this possible. It shines a light on the areas of our lives that need attention, allowing us to bring healing energy to them. With awareness, we can see the truth of who we are, not broken or damaged, but whole and worthy of love, healing, and peace. When we cultivate this deep awareness, we unlock the power within us to heal from the inside out.